Hey ladies, welcome in. How is everybody doing today? Welcome in. I am very excited to see you ladies. So welcome in. Who's joining me live? So today we have a very interesting topic. One of the things about the work that I do with you guys is really helping you implement strategies that can help you have a balanced life, help you overcome stress, help you overcome overworking yourself. And oftentimes what I've seen is that there are certain things that block us, that stop us from being able to do these things to be able to get the results that we want. And so in today's live, I'm going to be sharing some strategies that you can use to be able to delegate and ask for help so that people not just want to help you, people actually crave to help you. People actually get excited to help you. And when they do, it will improve the quality of your life. So welcome in, ladies, welcome in. For those of you who are watching, this is the first time seeing a video like this or attending a live training, thank you for stopping by. My name is Abby, and I help overwhelmed professional women. I help them have a work-life balance by teaching them how to slow down, overcome stress, manage stress, embrace your feminine nature, and use that to balance out your energy. So welcome in. Thank you again for stopping by. So one of the things that I often get, or one of the questions that I often get as a coach is people ask me, women ask me, it's like, hey, Abby, it's great that, ask for help and delegating is great, but at work, people think that people are doubting my capability. How can I then implement the strategies without looking like I'm incompetent, or without looking like I don't know how to do this job, or without looking like that I'm not capable of doing it, right? That's a real fear. That's a real fear. And there's certain reasons why many women in the workplace especially, you're a woman in corporate, there's so many reasons why we have this fear. So the way this live training is going to go, I just want to quickly give you guys a structure before I get into it. The way it's going to go, I'm going to talk a little bit about why we struggle with this, and then I'm going to transition into some steps. I would say 3 steps that I'm going to give you guys, very simple steps that you can use today to start using the art of delegation to help improve your life. Okay, so let's get started with one of the very first reasons why women struggle with this. Okay, so one of the reasons, just give me a second here. So one of the reasons, and I struggled with this in the past, and I just talked about it, is if you have spent years building your reputation as this competent, all-knowing, all-doing, high-achieving woman at work, it becomes really difficult and hard to be able to take a step back and allow other people coming to help you. Because one of the especially it takes me back to when I used to be in that state. One of the drivers for many high achieving women, many women in corporate that are just killing, one of the drivers why we keep doing this is that we get validated from people saying, oh my gosh, you're awesome. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that. Oh my gosh, you're great. We get validated by that. We get validated by the credits that we're getting at work. Especially if you grew up in a family where nobody gave you credit, or you're among people, friends, relations that put you down. the workplace can become some sort of a safe haven for you, that you start to feel extremely alive and confident only at work. And it constantly feeds that cycle for you. And it gets to a point where you're running this treadmill and you feel trapped. The feeling of being trapped is not only because you're feeling stressed and overwhelmed, but the feeling of you're feeling trapped because you don't know what's gonna happen if you remove your legs from the treadmill. You don't know what's gonna happen, how you're going to feel about yourself if you're no longer getting that validation from work. So these things that I'm telling you, ladies, these are real issues that women face. I experienced this. I experienced it for years. And now that I'm working with women, I'm seeing this pattern. And so when we give advices like, ask for help, let other people help you, it's a lot easier said than done. It's a lot easier said than done. And so consistently, imagine if your brain is used to you're a strong woman, you're an independent woman, and all of those labels that we give women today. There's nothing wrong about being a strong woman. You're like, hey, if you want to be identified as a strong woman, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. But part of having and owning your strength is knowing when to step back. It's knowing when to recognize and say, hey, I'm not at my best today. So perhaps maybe I can try again tomorrow, or I can step back so that somebody can come in, right? So that is part of strength. And so again, just to kind of recap, if this is you, I hear you. I know sometimes as coaches, we want you to get to the next level, and sometimes you guys may feel like, we're not seeing you. I see you and I get it because I've been the person, right? But at the same time, this is a question that I always ask you guys. Is it serving you to think that way? If it's no longer serving you, then that tells me that you're ready to be able to make those changes, okay? So another reason why many women, and this reason is gonna hurt a little bit, it's gonna trigger you guys, but hey, better me to trigger you than your manager or your CEO, okay? So I will take the bullets. Well, hold it there. Not bullets, but I am happy to be the one to trigger you, okay? Let's watch our words. All right, so another reason why many women at work are struggling to do or become the kind of woman that is comfortable delegating tasks that she's not able to handle. Another reason is that we don't think other people can do it like us. We don't think other people can do it as perfectly as us. I see this not just at work. I see it in personal lives. I see it in relationships. I see it amongst friendship. We just don't think people are as good as us, and they cannot do it the way that we do it. So therefore, if we delegate to them, they're going to ruin the thing, right? And that's going to affect our reputation. At least we think that. Like, if that's you, like, I'm not judging you. Being someone that used to be such a perfectionist, I see you, okay? I see you. And this is what I call the perfectionist syndrome, right? But the problem with this is that when you're like tired, you cannot even you cannot put your best. So what happens with this is that you grind your will so that you can do it perfectly, because nobody can do it like you. Then it gets to a point where you're like, I cannot do this anymore. And so at that stage, you either keep going and self-destruct, or the quality of what you're doing continues to diminish. And then people then start to notice that you really are not as good as you tell yourself. So it's almost like a form of self-sabotage. And especially at work, I see this at work, where women are complaining. They're like, it's only me. It's the only me. Okay, allow somebody else do it. No. Why not? Because they're not going to be able to do it perfectly like the way I do it, right? But the question is, which is much more of a priority to you? You becoming healthy and resting while allowing somebody else take that space and trusting that they can do it perfectly, right? And I'm going to give you guys some steps on how you can relinquish that control, but at the same time manage your reputation, especially if you're at work, right? At the end of the day, it's a decision. If you are so in that zone of, I need to control this, I need to be perfect, the question is, okay, you're there, but is it serving you? Is prioritizing your health and well-being a higher desire than the need to be perfect, right? Which is more of a higher desire for you? You're going to have to choose, because both of them cannot coexist. There's no such thing, first of all, as a perfect person. No such thing, right? But more importantly, if you are on the treadmill of, I need to be perfect, nobody can do it as good as I can, you're going to have to choose. Do you want to save your life and your health and enjoy peace and joy and fun and pleasure and have time for yourself? Or do you want to be perfect all the time and drain yourself until you're literally self-destruct, like you've taken yourself out of the world, right? You get to choose. You get to choose. Another reason, and this one is, I discovered this reason from talking with you guys. And this one, when I think about it, it reminds me of the days where I would be in the office and I would be kind of in my zone and just burning my own masculine energy and forgetting that I can actually ask somebody to help me. Like, it's not about, in this third reason, it's not about being perfect. It's not about being afraid. It's more so that you've actually forgotten, like you don't know that you can ask for help. Like you literally, like it doesn't cross your mind like, oh, somebody else can do this, right? Especially if you're so tuned in to executing something, you know, you're the executor, like you just get it done. If you were in that zone of, let me just get it done, sometimes that just doesn't cross your mind, right? You feel the feeling of fear, or rather you feel the feeling of stress, you feel the feeling of your energy drain, but you keep going because that's all you've ever known. And if you grew up in families where, you know, you were modeled, or your mom was the independent woman who kept going and going, even though she was going down the drain and drowning herself, you will notice that a lot of women who act like that, they're mirroring their mom. They're mirroring their mom. Like if you grew up with a mother that was in her masculine energy 24/7, you're most likely to be or live in that state as well. So this is the woman again that we call the superwoman. But in this specific case, it's all you've ever known. You don't even know that it is possible to ask for help. Like you see people saying, oh, ask for help and whatnot, but your brain has not registered that you can do it because you don't even know how to. It wasn't made available to you if you grew up in like a single mother household or a single father household. I would say more of single mom, because of just the way women are wired in terms of our energy levels. We don't have that much testosterone to be able to support the work that a single mom will be doing, right? We just don't have that level of testosterone. We just don't, biologically. So you're much more likely to get drained very quickly in a single mom household because, again, of what I just described. But even if that's the case, right, you never saw it, so you don't even know. And then you stumble upon my video and you wonder, what is this lady talking about? What is she saying about how to delegate, right? So if that's you, congratulations, because you are in a state where you're getting the knowledge now so you can take the action. Like, help is always available to you, especially as women. Like, this is one of the perks of being a woman, is that help is always available to us. Sometimes we have to ask for it. And one of the things that I think it's a cultural thing, but I still haven't been, I've been doing some research on this, but I'm still looking into it. But I don't know why as women we struggle to ask for help. We prefer when somebody offers to help us, then we go and ask. I don't know why. Because I think it's a part of it, from the research I'm doing so far, a part of it is upbringing and the kind of household where we grew up in. Another part of it is this need to be, loved. And so when we have people that are offering to do something for us, we prefer that, even when we're in situations where we need to ask for help. Like, I hope you guys are getting what I'm trying to communicate. Like, I hope you guys are getting it. We feel like if we have to ask for it, then they don't like us. They don't like us. And so what's the point, right? But what we're forgetting is that everybody is having or living their own journey. Some people, especially the modern day woman, has changed the paradigm of how women show up, right? We now have a lot of women living in their traditional masculine energy. So somebody who sees a woman in her masculine energy, she's given the vibe of, I've got it, right? She's given the vibe of, don't help me, I'm good. And when you're given that kind of frequency, people don't offer. So it's not even their fault. It's the energy that you're communicating to them that is saying, I've got it. Anytime a woman is operating in her masculine energy, and if she's been in that energy for so long, the people around you will not want to offer to help you because of the way that you were showing up. This is where feminine energy is so important. This is why feminine energy is so important. So I just wanted to quickly put that out there, because some of you have told me that, well, if they want to help me, then they'll offer. And I'm like, no. In many cases, yes. But in some cases, especially when you need the help, open your mouth and ask for it, right? There's this saying that they say, closed mouths are not fed. It's true. When you need, like when you're dying and you're waiting for people to offer help, remember that they too have their own lives. And you have to come from a place of openness where it's like, okay, I do need the help, so therefore I'm gonna ask for it, okay? So this third reason, I know I went a little bit deeper, but I want you guys to, one of the important things here is to recognize where you fall into and to kind of get your brain in that zone of what next, what can I do to fix it, okay? So now that we've understood some of the common reasons why women struggle with delegation and asking for help, what can we do to solve this? Give me a second, let me take my drink and we'll talk about it. Okay, so the first things first is that when we look at delegation, by the way, delegation just simply means that you're asking people to do something or you're outsourcing a task. So instead of you doing it, other people are doing it for you. That's delegation, right? Other people are essentially, instead of you using your energy, other people are using their energy to do the thing for you. So it's giving somebody something to do on your behalf, okay? That's the simple thing about delegation. Now, if you are the woman who's like, okay, AB, teach me how to do this because I'm afraid it's gonna look bad on me. People are gonna think that I'm incompetent. People are gonna think that I'm lazy if I do this. One of the very first things that I would tell you about asking for help and being able to delegate, one of the very first steps that you can take today is I want you to take a pen, take a paper, and I want you to essentially identify two scenarios where you had the need to delegate, but something stopped you. So identify two, just two, no more than two. Why is this important? Because before you start to take action on something, you need to really understand, the situations where you have needed it and you did not ask, because those situations are going to reoccur in the future. So when you start learning how to identify the situations and understand what blocked you from taking action, that will help you move forward. Okay, so the first step is creating awareness, right? Create the awareness on why you have not been able to delegate. I've already given you some reasons. If those are the reasons, the next step now is to write down two situations where those reasons played out. Okay. After this, the next step is to understand that there are several ways that you can delegate. By the way, I have my notes here, you guys, and I just kind of outlined it for you. So depending on where you're at in life, right? One of the very first ways that you can delegate is direct. Like you're coming to somebody and you're saying, hey, do you mind helping me? Right? You're asking the person directly for what you want. Now, the key thing about being direct is that you have to be clear. What do you want them to do? Do not tell them how to do it. Say what you need them to do. Tell them when you expect, your expectations for timeline, and then you ask them if they're okay with it. If you're at work, let's use work. If you're at work, okay, and you want to learn how to use direct delegation, go to the person or message them or whatever and say, hey, state the problem, like, hey, do you mind doing this for me? Okay, do you mind if you do this? Do you mind if I send this over to you? Do you see why I asked that? The reason why I say the reason why you need to be careful with the way you communicate, this is part of feminine communication, by the way, is because when you are asking for help, you're not demanding it, especially if you are on the same level at work with the person that you're asking this help from. You never demand help, ever, ever, ever. If you don't take anything from this life training, take that. You never demand help. If you have to demand help, you've missed it. You've missed it. Okay? So you ask, hey, do you mind? State what the problem is. What is the request? What do you need? Be very clear and say, do you mind what you would like them to do? And then you pause and allow them tell you. Some people might say, hey, I actually have other things that I have planned. I won't be able to. Then you say, okay, well, thanks. Right? You don't take it personal. And then you go find somebody else who wants to help you. Right? But make sure that you're coming from a place where it's not entitled. This is important. It's not entitled and they're not obligated to help you. So always give them that option to say no or to say yes. Okay? So this is the direct way where you are stating what you need in black and white. You're clear. If it's a deadline, if it's a strict deadline, let them know. Give them the timeline. Let everything be in black and white, right? This is when they're expecting this deliverable. Is this something you can handle? So that everything is clear and there's no ambiguity, and then they can decide whether they want to help you or not, okay? Another way of delegating is more of the indirect way. Okay, so the indirect is more, this will be more in line with the feminine energy way. The first way is more, it's like, it's straight to the point. There's an outcome. So it's more in the masculine way, even though, if you're switching between energies, then it really doesn't matter. It's the way that you're saying it, right? But the indirect way is is indirect the right word? But let's use that word. Let's use it. In the indirect way, one of the ways that you can do this is, especially if you're so scared that you cannot ask, is whoever you think can help you, one of the indirect ways is to state the problem and pause. So bring the problem to them and pause. So the first category, the direct way, I gave you an example with your peers, right? If your peers, you want to ask your peers to do something for you. In the indirect way, let's say, for example, you have a problem and you want to bring that problem to your manager, right? You don't want to be telling your manager what to do. You know what I mean? Unless they ask you to, or unless the context requires that. But when you're talking to people of authority, right, and you're bringing some sort of a problem to them, like, you don't start commanding them, do this and do that. Like, it's not appropriate, right? This is where I tell women, read the room, okay? But one of the indirect ways is state the problem and make sure that the person you're talking to is known for problem solving. Like, they're super masculine, right? Super masculine. State the problem and pause. I promise you they'll come up with a solution quickly. Like this. Before you even finish saying the problem, they'll come up with a solution. So when do you use this? If there's, number one, if you're afraid to voice what it is that you desire, state the problem. Number two, if you're in a situation where it's not appropriate to be telling the person what to do, like you're talking to your manager, or you're talking to somebody in authority, you're talking to someone where it's not your place to be telling them what to do and what not to do, you can use this, right? In some cases where you're talking to your manager, you have to be direct. Read the room. Read the room, ladies, okay? But however, one of the many ways I've seen this work out is when you are bringing a problem that you yourself don't even have a solution for, right? Then go to them and state the problem and pause. They will come up with a solution for you, okay? They will come up with a solution for you. And the reason why I added this under delegation is because sometimes as women, when our brain is so overwhelmed, we can't actually think for ourselves. Like, let's be real here. We cannot think for ourselves, and we need that help, right? Anytime somebody steps in to help you, that's an art of delegation. Remember, delegation means outsourcing. Outsourcing means you don't have to do it yourself, okay? Now, if you are feeling like, well, AB, if I go to management with a problem without a solution, because this is something that a lot, when you're entering the workplace, they'll tell you never go to your management without a solution. Okay, here's a caveat to this. When there is a problem with, let's say you guys are working on a project and it's a high priority project and whatnot, and you have the solution to the problem, it makes no sense for you to go to your manager and state a problem when you have the solution that you can fix the problem. Like, are you guys getting this? Like, look at the context here. Like, if the situation that you're in, you already know the solution and you can implement it, do not go to your manager and do the indirect. It makes no sense, okay? Now, if you are worried about your reputation, like they're going to think that you're incompetent and you're stating a problem. So the way that you can do this is do it from a place of strength. People read your energy. and less words. It is the way that you're saying it that is going to determine whether they're going to place you in the bucket of she's incompetent or not. 99% of the time, when you bring a serious problem to your management, like you are proactively doing this and you really don't have the solution, 99% of the time, they'll be glad that you did, because now if this had escalated and they had gotten their own management involved, it's going to look bad on them. It's going to look bad on them. Another thing to note is tell them what you've done and why it hasn't worked. That's another strategy that you can apply as well. Like if you are so in that zone where I can't look so helpless, tell them that, hey, this is a problem. This is what I've tried and I still haven't been able to figure it out, right? That way, they're not gonna say, oh, she's incompetent, because you've actually tried something. And they already know what you've tried, so they can then suggest other things that they can do to help you. Okay, so you can also do that. I know there's some women that would never want to look weak in presence of their management. But let me tell you this, your vulnerability is your strength. You just need to know how to use it and make sure that it's coming from a place of strength, not weakness. Weakness means you're doing it out of fear, frustration, anger, anything that clouds your judgment, anything that clouds your perception of something is coming from a place of weakness, not strength. When you are coming from a place of strength, I promise you, people will feel that and they will appreciate the fact that you trust them enough to bring this problem to them. And remember something, ladies, I'm not talking to incompetent women. I know you guys. I see the work that you do. You're fantastic. People can see the work that you do. Your track record is so good that the person that you're bringing this problem to, they're going to be impressed that you think highly of them to bring this to bring this problem to them. Like, can you even tap into that thinking? Because many times a lot of women, especially when we're in that masculine zone, we cannot see that way. I promise you, I am speaking from experience. They know your track record. They know you're a finisher. They know you're excellent and you're great. And when you are able to humble yourself, because it's actually a form of humility, and admit that you need help, people recognize that and they go to action quick. And what you're going to notice is that they're going to feel more connected to you and you're going to want to offer more help in the future. Okay, this thing, ladies, that I'm telling you, they work. They work. You just have to trust the process and apply it accordingly. Okay, all right, how are we doing so far with time? All right, I'll take a sip here and we'll talk about the last way. Okay. The third and final way to delegate. This is what I call inspiration. Okay, so you inspire them to help you. So this is where this method comes in, where you don't necessarily need the help today, but in the future, you know that in the future you could. So how do you do this? It's not like you're going to seek somebody and start inspiring them, like you're performing, and no, we don't do that here. So when I say inspire them, this means that everybody that comes into your field, you're able to slow down and tap into your feminine nature. What does this mean? This means that you're in touch with your body and you're connecting to them. And when people feel connected to you, they get tuned into your needs and they anticipate your needs. So the way that this would work in the workplace, right, is essentially you being cordial with your coworkers and your team members. This does not mean you're flirting with anyone or acting unprofessional. No. This just means that you're keeping an open heart and an open mind. When people do things for you, you appreciate them. When people have accomplishments, you celebrate them. Essentially, you're just being a good person. Just being a good person. And so what you would notice is when you're living life with an open heart, or you're going to work and you have an open heart, you feel and know that everything is working for your good, you are going to be vibrating very differently. Your frequency is going to be very different. So what you're going to notice is people would just be offering to help you. What do you need? Hey, do you need this? They'll be telling you, giving you advice, and not the unsolicited, annoying advice that some women experience, but more importantly, because they're connected to you, they can anticipate what you need and they start offering it before you ask. This is what I call feminine inspiration. And the reason they're doing this is because you are showing up as a woman that is open to receiving. And when you are doing this from a place of strength, you're not performing, you're not seeking people out to flatter them. That's the ill, no. But you are more so just living life from an open heart and enjoying the position that you are. You're enjoying your work, you're enjoying your job, you're enjoying your life. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you know that in this moment, it's the best thing that you have. You're living like that. You're connecting with people, right? You're just being a good human. When you're living like this, you will be inspiring people to help you. I'm telling you, people will be throwing help at you. You have to be the ones that say, I'm okay, but thank you. Like, people will be throwing stuff at you. Not literally, but you get the point, right? People will be offering, do you need this? Do you need that? Another reason why, because your energy is so refreshing. It's so refreshing. If you go online and you see some of the energies that are out there, you know, even you're gonna feel like, man, this is too much, like, right? It's too much, right? But if you become a very positive person and you bring positive energy, you're gonna get more of that. You're gonna inspire people to do wonderful things for you. You're not manipulating anybody. You're not controlling anybody. People are just coming your way. They feel your positive energy and they want to help you. They want to give you more so that you can experience and essentially magnify that positive and radiant energy of yours. Ladies, this is the secret to maintaining a healthy, balanced life. I'm not joking here. This is the secret. This is what I use in my life. I use it everywhere I go. Everywhere I go. And it's the same result, right? It's the same result. So this is the third one that I wanted to put here. On Sunday, I probably will go into this from a feminine perspective, where I give you guys how to tap into your feminine energy if you are a professional woman and you are essentially tired and feeling like you've lost your femininity. I'm going to go deeper into this topic on how you can inspire people to want to help you. Okay, so those are all that I had for you ladies today. I want to see how, oh, fantastic, we're doing great. Okay, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Other than that, I will see you when I see you. Bye.